Hey everybody, Average Picker here. So I thought I would give you a little bit of a behind the scenes view. I do this every so often, just so you can kind of see what the setup is looking like. All those locks down under there are pretty much set up for lock toss or to be given away to new pickers and things like that. And yeah, you can see I just picked these up for $4 the other day. And so I'm in the process of attempting to free these Medico locks from their housing. Now, some of that little glance, I guess, behind the scenes is in a little bit of a response for Wes the Lockpicker. And I just wanted to say I do appreciate the feedback. You had said I needed to kind of rig it so it was a little more Bosnian Bill, lockpicking lawyer kind of traditional setup where you can actually see the camera, or you're looking down on the lock and you can see the picking action better. And I completely agree with you. That has been a problem I have had since I started this channel. And yeah, I'm always appreciative of feedback. So if anybody has any suggestions for solving some of these problems, especially if they're cheap suggestions, I really do appreciate it. I picked up the little lapel mic a while back when Helpful Lockpicker had made some comments about the audio and things like that. I was like, okay, that's an issue I can solve pretty readily as opposed to shouting at the iPad. The white stand is what I mount the iPad on, and if I tighten it down anymore, it is going to explode probably. And it's still not enough that if I balance it up and do the picking under it, it ends up creeping down and collapsing. It's just not a great stand. It works well enough, and it's quite the advancement. If any of you remember my really early videos, I used to mount the iPad in a shoebox. And it was over on the green kitchen table. You got to enjoy the cats, which you don't really get to see much anymore, as the cats would climb around everything. This is the dedicated lockpicking station, and it's not a whole lot of room, and this is pretty much the amount of room I have to deal with. Now, on the camera side of things, I have toyed with some options. I even gutted out a desk lamp and tried to build like a boon that could kind of reach up and over, and I could just manipulate around and kind of pan and stuff with. It just kept collapsing, though. Did not work out very well. So yeah, and a lot of this stuff, like it does double duty, and I've got to be able to get it cleaned up and kind of moved out of the way. On a slight side note, many years ago, there was 3 rules set up for me for moving in here, and one of those rules was I do not turn the kitchen into any kind of recording studio. And that's because my girlfriend knows me from way back in the day, when our kitchen was pretty much a audio video recording studio. And that sort of wraps around a little bit. There's some rhyme or reason to the lo-fi-ness, I guess, or the analogness of how this is done. Initially, I wanted a much better setup, but I started thinking, and I was like, because a lot of this channel started as kind of this rebellion at the larger lockpicking channels, because I wasn't familiar with, I didn't know how many people were out there picking, and I didn't know all the channels like I do now, and all I was seeing was these really well done videos. I was like, man, somebody's got to show the average size side of things, hence that's kind of where my name came from. And just to put it out there, I wanted people to be able to look at my videos and go, well shit, I can do better than that, whether it's picking or setup or whatever, and then them go on to be able to do it. But now I do recognize that the channel's gone on for a while now, and it's gone on for a while in a very low key way, and things do have to progress eventually. So yeah, it is being worked on. I'm trying to come up with some good solutions, something that's a little bit mobile and I can break down and move out of the way pretty easily, but still get you guys a better view of the lock than I know I have provided probably ever in a video. Every so often I've done a video where I've done a test, So we've been working towards something there. And again, if anybody has an idea or something, that'd be great. But it is something that's got to be able to break down. It's got to be able to get out of the way and not take up a whole lot of space. Because this is kind of the space I'm afforded to in the kitchen at the moment. And there's just not room in the back room. Plus, it's a little sociable. I can sit here and I can practice and pick on locks. I can do stuff like free up these medicos, while watching horror films in the other room and being a little bit sociable with anyone hanging out there. So, yeah. So again, I appreciate the suggestion, and I always appreciative of suggestions of what I can do to improve the channel. So, but at the same time, I do also, there are limits of space and time, and money. Money is always one. I just don't have a whole lot to keep throwing at this to do different tests. You probably would not realize from watching these videos, though, I have done a good bit of video work before. I may have even helped decode DVDs back in the early days. Yeah. And so, I don't want this to turn into work. I don't consider myself a professional YouTuber or anything like that. And so I like that I can shoot on this iPad and just upload it straight to YouTube. I stitch it together in iMovie. Almost pretty much no editing, really. Just, when I do the flip the camera, that's about the only cut there typically is. Put it straight up. And I like that. I like the no frillsness. I don't like the idea of having to get B-roll footage and all this stuff and maybe cart it back into the other room and then put it together in Final Cut or something like that. I can just boom, it's up. At the same time, though, I do recognize, again, the channel needs to advance and move on. And it would be cool to have a whole lot more subscribers, and that would probably come, or not just subscribers, really, views. And it's not because I have anything great to offer, but yeah, a lot of views would be nice. If I had the viewer base, I would do a lot of charity picks. I think I would get on the super chats thing or whatever, where you can accept donations, and I would do some endurance lock picking stuff to raise money for charities. That's really my only goal in getting views. Is if it can bring in any income, then I can donate that money out, or I can buy stuff with it and just give it away. So that's really the only motivation there. Otherwise, I just want to keep it light and fluffy for myself, I guess is what I mean there. So, and I know a few of you have done it. And so if you're still watching this video, I think it'd be really interesting to see all of your setups as far as how you go about filming and things like that, and where you mount and what you pick. Are you actually picking up underneath the camera? Is it just mounted coming down over your shoulder? I've got a GoPro too. I thought about mounting it just on my freaking forehead and doing it that way. But again, it's kind of a pain in the butt, right? Not really compared to what it used to be. It's really easy now. But yeah, I have to cart all this stuff into the other room and do all the work in there. Maybe I'll set up can I grab an old laptop and just set up a little tiny video station right here and just do it? Just dump the footage in. That might be something. But yeah, I think it'd be cool to see some more behind the scenes stuff of what you all out there are working with and what your setups and stuff like that look like. Always gives good ideas. And again, I just started doing it because I was like, screw it, I can put the iPad in a shoebox and I can do it, and maybe somebody can look at that and go, man, I can pick better than that and I can shoot better videos than that. Let me get out there and start making some. But it's probably time to move on. So we are going to, I'll kick it into a little bit higher gear of trying to come up with a better camera mount solution. But yeah, so I appreciate the feedback, Wes. I really do. And it's just, you gave me feedback on something that I knew was an issue and was becoming more and more of an issue. And so, yeah, I'll put a little heat under that and see what we can do. And if there's anything else you all want to see, or changes you want to see made, bringing the cats back in to the background is probably out of the question. That would take some serious rearranging and tempting the cats out. But yeah, any ideas, even if it's just more locks you'd like to see, or videos on certain stuff, more tutorials, just whatever. I'm incredibly open to it, and I welcome it. And yeah, there we go. But thank you for watching, everybody. I've said before, there's a lot of lockpicking videos and channels out there, and you're spending some time watching mine. And I do appreciate that, and I appreciate any feedback I get as well. So you'll have a good one. I'm going to get back to trying to get these Medicos out of these $4 locks.